I'm Iz and welcome to this gentle hip stretch for beginners or if anyone's new to yoga. Lifting through the spine, lifting through the crown of the head. Maybe inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slowly begin to exhale. Inhale again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slowly begin to exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now as we inhale, begin to bring our head to one side. As we exhale, slowly bring it to the other side. Inhale, back to that original position, and back again. On the inhales and exhales, begin to incorporate the arms here for nice gentle side stretches. Not quite putting my elbows down to the ground. I'm just focusing on getting a good stretch along the arms, along the side of the ribs and the hips. Warming up nice here. Okay, we'll come back to center. Bring the legs out in front, but have the feet facing together. Begin to bounce the knees up and down. This is butterfly pose. This is just warming up the hips. Getting a nice, good stretch here. Continue the nice, controlled, slow breathing. And in our own time, we'll begin to stop and slow down. We'll make our way back into tabletop. And then come up onto the knees. Bring our left foot forwards 90 degrees and begin to shift the weight forwards. If our knee looks like it's going over our toes, we'll begin to shift that foot up to the top left side of the mat. We can drop the toes down here or we can keep up on them. We've got the hands on the hips and we're just allowing the hips to pull down into the ground. Okay, guys, hips facing the front of the mat now. Take an inhale, feeling the stretch, warming up the hips. Slowly begin to come back onto the hips. If it's comfortable to do so, we can bend that right knee back and down, sit down low onto the hips, straighten that left leg, toes point up towards the sky. This is our half split. We can bend that left knee, or we can straighten it if it feels comfortable and think about coming down, bringing that chest down towards the ground. I'm up here on my, sat on my ankle, got my toes pushed down into the ground, but we can flatten that back foot all the way if it's comfortable. Slowly begin to come up and we'll stretch back into our low lunge, hands on the hips, pushing it forwards now. Grounding those hips down towards the ground. And through the exhale, slowly begin to come back, half splits. Remember to bend that knee. If it's comfortable, pull that chest down. We don't want our heads coming over. We don't want to hunch our shoulders. Just think about pulling that chest down towards the ground. Okay. Slowly begin to come back, make our way through, and we'll do the same on the other side. So I bring my right foot to the top right side of my mat and push my hips forwards, hands on my hips, pushing forwards now, allowing the hips to fall down into the ground. Slowly begin to shift it back, straightening that right leg, maybe shifting those toes and that ankle. We can straighten that right leg here, or we can have a slight bend in it, whatever's comfortable for you. Come down onto my fingertips. I just begin to pulse here ever so slightly, nice and soft. Remember to bend that knee if needs be. Hands back on the hips now, shift it forwards for our low lunge. Really stretching out the hips now. Remember to keep the breathing nice and slow and controlled. Frame those hips so they're pointing to the top of the mat. And through the exhale, we'll come back, straighten that leg, half splits. We can keep a bend in the knee if it's comfortable, or straighten. Think about bringing that chest down towards the knee. Slowly begin to shift our weight forwards. I straighten my hands now, just to the left of my right foot. And I'm allowing my hips to fall down into the ground. If we want to modify, we can always push that right knee out to the side, and that right foot will come onto the edge of the foot ever so slightly. This is our lizard pose. If you want to modify, we can lift that left leg up, or we can keep it down. I'm going to drop mine down now, bring that right leg back, and we'll switch over. Bringing that left foot to the top left side of the mat, bringing those hands to a plank-like position on the inside of that footing, and really allowing those hips to just fall down, let gravity pull down. If we want to modify, bring that left knee out to the side, which will also bring the left foot onto its outer side. This is just a bit of a modifier. Feel free to play with these poses, whatever feels great for your body. Everyone's different at the end of the day, so each pose will look different for everybody. Bring that left knee back. We'll come back into our tabletop, but widen the knees here. So I'm going to come down for frog pose, dropping the knees really wide now to mat width distance. If it's comfortable to do so, we'll come down onto the forearms or the hands. And we'll remain here in frog pose. This is a great hip opener. If we're comfortable, we can always drop the forehead onto the mat. I'm just going to stay here though. I find this pose very comfortable. Think about taking big inhales and exhales. On the next exhale, we'll make our way back through tabletop, coming onto our back, shifting our weight back now. Slowly begin to come onto our backs, one vertebrae at a time. We'll bring the knees so they're pointing up towards the sky, plant the feet so the feet are planted on the ground. Begin to bring one knee in at a time. This is really good for the hips. Keep one knee still as the other knee is pulled down into the ground. This is what I like to call windscreen wiping. In our own time, we'll come back to stillness, bring those feet back in so they're not mats with distance anymore, and hug those knees into the chest, coming up and down. We can grab the opposite hands, the wrists, the forearms, or if it's comfortable to do so, the elbows. Hugging those knees in, we'll rock from left to right, giving ourselves a gentle, small back massage now. Squeezing the kidneys and the organs, detoxifying. On the next exhale, we'll release our hands, and I'm going to open up my feet, open up my legs, so my feet are now facing the sky. So I reach my hands on the inside of my knees and grab the outside edges of my feet. I can also grab ankles or calves or thighs here, whatever feels right for you. This is happy baby pose. I want you to think about pulling those knees down towards the mat, down towards the ground. This is a very deep hip stretch, but it's really good for opening up those hips. Release the feet down, hug the knees into the chest. One last little rock. Okay, now we'll just bring one knee into the chest and allow that left ankle to land on the right side of the knee. Fingers will interlace behind that right hamstring. Give it a big hug. Straighten that right leg if this is comfortable. If not, we can leave that right leg on the mat. Begin to straighten and flex that right leg. This is sciatic nerve flossing, so this is really good for anybody that has that sciatic pain. If this hurts at any point, please stop. And we'll relax down. Right foot comes onto the mat, release the left foot, and we'll go the same on the other side. So right foot comes up and over, right side of the right foot on the top left knee. And we'll begin to straighten that left leg if it's comfortable, interlacing the fingers behind the hamstring. If we'd like, we can always keep the left foot down on the mat and just open up the hips. Think about slowing the breathing down. And we'll begin to relax that left foot down. Relax the right foot. Take an inhale. On the exhale, put the feet to mat's width distance and begin to windscreen wipe at these knees again. So in and out. This is really good for getting any niggles out of the hips. Now begin to release the feet down, straight. We'll make our way back into a cross-legged position nice and slowly. Hands on the knees, maybe take a big inhale, lengthen through the spine. Through the exhale, allow the feet to face each other. Maybe grab the toes or the ankles, and we'll begin to butterfly again. So that just means bouncing the legs up and down, stretching the hips out. If it feels comfortable to do so, we can put a little bit of extra pressure here. So putting my elbows not on the knee joint, but just on my thighs, pushing down. I'm not putting too much pressure on, just a little bit to give me that little bit of extra stretch. Come back to a cross-legged position. Maybe perhaps move the flesh from underneath us. Take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, bring the arms round and up, stretch up towards the sky. Maybe have the hands meet at prayer as you bring them down past the face. Have the thumbs push into the chest. Take an inhale, and through the exhale, I invite you to bow your head down with me and think of something that you are grateful for today. Namaste, thank you, and take care. Bye for now.